What if I told you the man who built a restaurant empire walked into his own business and was treated like he didn't exist? For 45 long minutes, no one spoke to him. No greeting, no menu, no eye contact. They thought he was just another delivery driver. What they didn't know was that he owned every single table in that room. And what he discovered that day would shake his company, destroy careers, and change the meaning of hospitality forever. Liam Chen never imagined that one day he would stand inside his own restaurant and feel like he didn't belong there. For years, his name had carried weight. Investors listened when he spoke. Managers straightened up when he entered a room. Newspapers called him a success story, an immigrant son who built something from nothing. But on this particular afternoon, none of that mattered, because no one knew who he was. And for the first time in a long time, Liam wanted it that way. City Bites Grill began as a dream fueled by hunger, real hunger. Liam remembered those early days clearly. He remembered counting coins before buying groceries. He remembered sharing cheap meals with friends and promising himself that if he ever built a restaurant, it would be a place where no one felt invisible. Everyone would be welcomed. Everyone would be treated with dignity. That promise had carried him through long nights, failed experiments, and years of grinding work. And it worked. One restaurant became 3. 3 became 10. 10 became 43. From the outside, everything looked perfect. But deep inside, something felt wrong. It started as a whisper. Customer complaints were low, almost too low. Reviews were mostly positive. Managers sent glowing reports every month. Still, Liam couldn't shake the feeling that something was being hidden from him. He had learned a painful lesson in business. Numbers can lie, but experiences don't. So one morning, instead of calling a meeting or sending an email, Liam chose a different path. He decided to experience the truth himself. He dressed simply, almost carelessly. A worn jacket, old sneakers, a plain baseball cap pulled low. Nothing about him stood out. He bought a delivery bag online and practiced walking with his shoulders slightly slouched, like someone used to being overlooked. When he looked in the mirror, he paused. The man staring back didn't look like a CEO. He looked tired, ordinary, easy to ignore. And that scared him more than he expected. The Flagship City Bites Grill sat on a busy street, glass windows, warm lighting, the sound of laughter spilling onto the sidewalk. This was the location used for training managers. The example everyone followed. If any restaurant reflected the company's values, it should be this one. Liam stepped inside. The smell of grilled food wrapped around him instantly. Plates clattered. Servers weaved through tables with practiced smiles. The place was alive. He walked toward the host stand and stopped. No one looked up. At first, Liam wasn't worried. They're busy, he told himself. It's fine. He stood quietly, delivery bag resting against his leg. Customers in clean clothes and polished shoes were greeted warmly. Good afternoon. Right this way. Can I get you a drink while you wait? A couple walked in behind him and were seated within seconds. Liam stayed standing. 5 minutes passed. A server glanced at him briefly, then turned away as if her eyes had slipped over empty space. 10 minutes. The host laughed with a group of well-dressed guests and led them inside. No one spoke till Liam's time passed. Liam stopped waiting and started observing. He watched who was welcomed quickly, and who wasn't. Customers with confidence, nice clothes, and loud voices were treated like VIPs. Smiles came easily. Conversations lingered. Others waited longer. Some left quietly. Liam shifted his weight. 15 minutes. He cleared his throat softly. Nothing. Then he saw Marcus. Marcus was the manager of the Flagship restaurant. Confident. Sharp suit. The kind of man who believed control was the same as leadership. Liam felt a strange sense of relief. At least the manager will notice. Marcus walked past him. Didn't slow down. Didn't ask a question. Didn't acknowledge him at all. Liam felt something sink in his chest. Why now? His legs ached slightly. The delivery bag felt heavier. A group of customers whispered nearby. Is he staff? I don't think so. Why hasn't anyone helped him? Liam wanted to answer them. To explain. To laugh it off. But he stayed silent. Because this wasn't about him anymore. It was about what the silence revealed. Around 35 minutes, another delivery driver walked in. This driver was greeted immediately. Hey, delivery? Sign here. Thanks, you're good. The driver left within 2 minutes. Liam remained. That was the moment it became undeniable. This wasn't about time. This was about who they thought he was. By the 45th minute, the noise of the restaurant felt distant, like he was underwater. Liam thought about his father again, washing dishes in the back of restaurants, unseen by customers who enjoyed the meals he helped prepare. He thought about younger versions of himself, standing quietly, hoping someone would notice. And standing there, ignored in his own restaurant, he felt a deep, aching sadness. Not rage, not embarrassment, grief. Because the place he built no longer recognized the people it was supposed to serve. Marcus passed by again, laughing with a table of well-dressed guests. He offered complimentary dessert, apologized for a minor delay. Hospitality. Then Marcus scanned the room and looked straight past Liam. That was the moment the truth settled in. This wasn't neglect. It was training. Liam picked up his delivery bag and walked toward the door. No one stopped him. No one asked a question. No one noticed. Outside, the city felt loud and sharp. He leaned against the wall and closed his eyes. 45 minutes. That's all it took to expose a lie years in the making. That night, alone in his apartment, Liam replayed every second. The smiles. The silence. The choices people made without thinking. He opened his laptop and stared at the list of locations. 43 restaurants. His heart tightened. If this was happening at the Flagship, if this was the example, then this problem wasn't small. It was everywhere. Liam didn't sleep much that night. Instead, he made a promise to himself. He would go back. He would walk in unnoticed again. He would listen without interrupting. Because the truth doesn't reveal itself to people who demand it. It reveals itself to those willing to be ignored. And Liam Chen was ready to disappear. If that was what it too. To see clearly. Liam Chen didn't announce what he was about to do. He didn't send a memo. He didn't warn his executives. He didn't ask for permission. He simply put the cap back on his head, picked up the delivery bag, and went back out into the world he thought he knew. Only this time, he wasn't looking for reassurance. He was looking for the truth. One restaurant, then another. The second restaurant was across town. Smaller than the Flagship. Less polished, but still busy. Liam walked in quietly and stood near the entrance. This time, it didn't take 45 minutes. It took 20 minutes before someone even asked why he was there. And when they did, the question wasn't kind. You delivering or just standing there? No apology. No smile. Just impatience. Liam left without ordering anything. The third location was worse. He watched a family, parents and 2 kids, stand awkwardly near the door, ignored while other guests were seated ahead of them. Their clothes were simple. Their voices soft. Eventually, the father quietly said, "Let's go," and they walked out. No one stopped them. Liam felt a knot tighten in his stomach. By the time he visited the 5th location, he stopped feeling surprised. The pattern was clear. The pattern no one wanted to see. Everywhere he went, the same invisible rule was at work. Customers who looked important were treated like royalty. Customers who didn't were made to wait, or ignored, or pushed aside. No one ever said it out loud, but everyone understood it. And that terrified Liam more than open cruelty ever could. Because this wasn't one bad employee. It was a system. Listening without interrupting. Liam began to stay longer in each restaurant. He sat quietly at corners. Stood near walls. Watched how staff spoke when they thought no one important was listening. He heard phrases like, "Focus on tables that spend more. Some customers aren't worth the effort. Don't waste time on people who won't tip well." Each sentence landed like a small betrayal. This wasn't what he built. This wasn't what he believed in. And yet, it was happening under his name. The training that changed everything. At one location, Liam overheard a training session. A young server asked, "So how do we prioritize when it's busy?" The supervisor didn't hesitate. "You look for the high-value customers first," she said. "You can tell by how they dress, how they talk, what they order." Liam's heart sank. That language wasn't accidental. It was taught. Following the trail upward, Liam stopped visiting restaurants and started digging. Quietly, he requested internal training materials, performance metrics, customer feedback systems. What he found made his hands tremble. There it was, buried deep in the system. A customer prioritization guideline. Approved, reviewed, signed off. And at the bottom of the document was a familiar name. Karen. Karen, the vice president of operations. The person he trusted to protect the soul of the company. The hidden filter. Then came the final blow. Liam discovered the review filter. A silent algorithm designed to flag and suppress negative reviews before they ever reached him, or the public. Reviews from customers marked as low value were quietly buried. Their voices erased. Their experiences rewritten. Liam stared at the screen for a long time. This wasn't neglect. This was deception. The return to the flagship. Liam knew what he had to do. But before confronting anyone, he needed one last confirmation. So he returned to the flagship restaurant. Same disguise. Same delivery bag. Same silence. He stood there again, ignored, unseen, dismissed. And this time, he let it happen. Because now, he wasn't just observing. He was documenting the end of a lie. The moment everything changed. After 30 minutes, Liam took off his cap. He straightened his posture. And he spoke. "Marcus." The room fell quiet. Marcus turned, confused, then pale. "Do you recognize me now?" Liam asked calmly. Whispers spread across the dining room. Someone gasped. Another dropped a fork. Liam continued, his voice steady but heavy. "I waited here for half an hour. Twice. And no one spoke to me." Marcus tried to speak. Liam raised a hand. "This isn't a conversation," he said. "This is accountability." He turned to the room. "I'm Liam Chin. And I own this company." Silence. Then he looked back at Marcus. "You're fired." Facing the real enemy. The next meeting was quieter. No audience. No drama. Just Liam and Karen. He placed the documents on the table. The policies. The training notes. The review filter. Karen didn't deny it. She only said, "It was good for profits." Liam nodded slowly. "Then we lost something more valuable than profit." Karen resigned that day, burning it down to save it. Liam shut down locations. People panicked. Rumors spread. But Liam didn't waver. Managers who enforced the policy were dismissed. Training was rewritten. Systems were rebuilt from scratch. Every employee received the same message. Every customer matters. Not the rich ones. Not the loud ones. Not the easy ones. Everyone. Speaking to the company. 3 weeks later, Liam stood in front of hundreds of employees. Not as a CEO, but as a human being. "I failed you," he said. "I stopped listening. I trusted systems instead of people." Some cried. Some looked down. "But we're not done," he continued. "We can still be better." 3 months later. Change didn't happen overnight. But it happened. Slowly, reviews returned, real ones. Customers came back. Employees relearned how to see people. Not wallets. Not appearances. People. That matters. One afternoon, Liam returned to the flagship restaurant. No disguise. The host smiled immediately. "Welcome," she said. "How can I help you?" Liam smiled back. This time, he didn't feel invisible. And for the first time in a long while, neither did his company.